Right, hello and welcome to another build. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a racing quad from scratch. This one is not my usual type of video because I'm using actually quite good stuff here, so I'll just do a quick run through of all the bits that I'm using and then we'll get onto the build. And I hope you enjoy it. So we'll start with the brains. We're using the Betaflight BeeRotor from RCTimer, the F4 version. And to go with that, we've got a PDB power board so we can measure our voltage and current usage. We've got another Hive 5.8 gigs video transmitter, also from RCTimer. Nice and small. You can actually switch this between 25, 200 and 600 milliwatts. That's quite handy. Then we've got the F-Pack from TheManLab. These are the F40s 2s in the 2400 kV version, and these come with four 30 ampere Cs as well. And then the frame, the Lynx FPV frame kit. It looks really nice. I haven't even got it out of the bag yet. So that's all the bits that we're using. So I'm just going to get everything out of the bags and ready. So here we have the F4 flight controller from RCTimer. A nice looking board. I've already flashed the firmware just to make sure that everything was working okay. It's got obviously a space for micro SD card, LEDs, LED strip. You can do everything that you need to do these days. To match up with that, I've just got the PDB for it. So it gives us the voltage and current sense, and also gives us an extra 5 and 12 volts out just in case we need it. And we've got the video transmitter again. So here's the new F-Pack, not even been opened yet. Quality control passed, that's good. So we've got here, quite thick wires on there, they're nice. And we've got them. Yeah, 40s. 2400 kV. Screws. Nuts. What's in here? Oh, heat shrink when you've finished. And you got the actual ESCs themselves. 2 to 4S, running B heli. Look really nice them. Good stuff. Right, so here's the frame. Looks really nicely made. Good finish. Nothing looks out of the ordinary, out of place. So I'm just going to spend a bit of time just having a think what method I'm going to use to put everything together, and what order I'm going to do things in. Right, so I've had a little bit of a think, and I'm going to mount the ESCs here for the front left and front right, and then here for the back left and right. So what I've done is I've got the PDB, lifted it up on some little nuts, and then the wiring goes underneath, and the ESC will just sit here, and then what's going to happen is the wires are going to loop back round and under PDB to give me power, but these are obviously too short, so I'm just going to get some longer ones off another quad that I don't use anymore and just loop them back and under, and I'll get the power. And then for the back ones I'll just go straight to the pads here, and that should be okay. So I'm just going to strip these, and then it should be good to solder. that's all soldered up there. The idea that these wires will get pushed up there once it's got its heat shrink on. So I'll just do the other side the same. Right, so you can see here that I've wired in the ESCs. I've actually turned these round. I'm actually going to go over the top and then wire onto here, but first I'm going to put the rear ones in because they're going to go under here, you see, so I'm going to get them in first. And I'll come back and solder these up onto here. So it's going to look like that. So how I'm doing this, I'm just like pre-bending the actual wire. And then just pushing it down with the tweezers as I'm soldering it. Right, so as you can see here, the ESCs are all laid out. So we've got the rear left and right ESCs here, and these come to the left and right pads here, the right hand side again, and then the other ESCs have turned the wires around and then just gone back along here into the front onto these two ports, and again the same here for these two. Now I've just got to bring the power wires in here. This connector was already made up, so it's quite handy. The plus positive wire is perfect. I'm just going to have to trim down the negative slightly, and then the signal wires will come up here to the bottom of the board. I'm just going to solder direct onto the pins here to make the job a bit simpler. So I'll do that. I'll come back. Flight controller board mounted here. As you see here, the flight controller board's got these little rubber grommets that come with it that are really nice. It just gives the board a bit of anti-vibration dampening. I think they're a really good idea. So I'm just going to connect all my servos onto here. It's pretty self-explanatory. It shows you in clean flight. I think this is motor number 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So we'll just give that a go. So that's it. All the motors connected up. ESC is connected up to the signal pin. So back right's motor 1, front right's motor 2, back left's motor 3 and front left's motor 4. Also connected up the ground pins as well, just in case that does make a difference. Right, so what I've done is I've added in the mount for the antenna. What I've done is I've put some M3 nuts upside down and then fed the antenna wire through, but this is actually an antenna wire I've got previously. It's just a bit longer than the old one, and it's the right type of connector that I need here with the pin, and then this will just click into the video transmitter. I've fitted the camera to this little back plate that comes with the kit. It's really nice. You just take the 2 screws out and replace the screws with the ones that come in the kit. It's a really sturdy mount for the camera. I've also added in the connector for the S-bus. This just is the S-bus. This comes as a made up connector, you just have to plug it in. So the S-bus is going down this wire. At the moment I'm just going to connect up the video. So the video from the camera comes into the yellow wire, and then this wire takes it off to video transmitter, and then you just got 2 grounds. So you just need to link one of your grounds into your camera grounds and then one into the transmitter ground. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to have a look how to do this. I might try see if I've got any wires from any previous bits that I've got a double end on them, so that I can just use the little clips instead of having to solder and add joints in. I'm just going to see if I've got anything of that in my old Arduino stuff. So what I've done is I've mounted the video transmitter on the back of the camera. So I've come out of the camera and into the board here on the yellow wire. Then I've come back out of the camera on the orange wire and then connected into the video transmitter here back onto the yellow wire. So I've had to cut the wires. And then I've just took the 2 black wires here and connected them into the same ground as what's supplying the camera with the 12 volts So on here we have, on this very left hand pin that's not being used, we have a 5V out for the camera, but it didn't work. So what I've done is I've switched it to where the blue wire is now, and that allows the voltage that's going into the video transmitter just gets put straight across and goes back out, and that made the camera work. So that's everything really. Sorry I didn't do a build like I normally do, but it's quite a complex one this, but everything I've done. At the moment I'm just using this antenna because I don't have another one, but I just wanted to power everything up. As you can see, it's a really nice build. Obviously I've just got my battery to go on the top plate. I've put my little XM Plus under here. I've just made two little standoffs, two little tie wrap mounts for the antennas, and that literally just sits on top like that. That's it, that's the whole thing, all in one, nothing sticking out, no ESCs. I'm just going to tidy up these wires with a double-sided. These ones look okay. And then this is what I really like about this frame as well, this battery connector under here. You just plug your battery straight in, makes it really easy. There's a really good clamp under there. So I've ordered a couple more batteries. And then I've got another antenna that I'm just going to switch that out for to have a vertical one, and that's about it really. So I'll put these screws in, just connect up my receiver, and then everything should be good to go for a little test hover. Right, so I'm just going to show you how to get the board configured through Betaflight. So basically you need to refresh the drivers within the board if you're using this F4 version, because it's got a slightly different DFU mode. So basically what you do is you get this Zadig software off the internet. I'll put a link in the description. All you do is hold down your bootloader button, plug in your USB until you hear the noise, then click this option. You should have this list all devices ticked, and then you need to find the SM32 bootloader like this, and then all you do is you just click install driver here. Now, I'll just disconnect and reconnect. If you select BeeRotor F4, it'll ruin your board from what I've heard. So make sure that it says bootloader. So then, obviously, once that's done, you can reconnect with your bootloader button. And now, as you can see here in the top right, you're in DFU mode, so that allows you to go into your firmware flasher. Select obviously BeeRotor F4, select 317, which is the only version for this board at the moment. I picked no reboot sequence, full chip erase, and 115200 for the board rate, and then just click load firmware online, and then click flash firmware here when that comes up. Anyway, I've done all that, so I'm just gonna pull my USB out and reconnect. We'll just go through, have a quick look at my settings, obviously for the power distribution board and a few bits and bobs like that. So basically got your standard settings here that we don't need to mess about with. You can do the calibrate accelerometer. So on the ports at the moment I've just got this is the VCP drivers for the connection to the computer, and then on UART2 I've just got my serial RX, which is my S-bus connection. So here's your motor layout if you're wondering what motor layout, how your motors go. And obviously on mine I'm using D-Shot, so that's all good. We don't need to, the board's in its default orientation, so we don't need to change anything here. So we're going for a serial based receiver, S-bus, so we've got VBAC monitor in here. I've worked out these myself, but if you're using exactly the same setup, just bang 205 into the VBAC and 380 into the current sensing, and just make sure you've got onboard ADC selected for both of them, and then you should be aware with that. This system configuration down here, I haven't actually done anything with that. I think you could probably up these, but I'm not really that clued up yet. So a couple of other features which are quite good. So obviously we want some telemetry. We've got a black box for the micro SD card, air mode. Make sure you click this SD card on because I didn't select that before and it didn't format my SD card correctly. And then also get the OSD. The telemetry is not running yet on mine. I'm waiting for an XM Plus to be delivered, so once I've done that I can change that, but I fly with FPV goggles, so I don't really need that at the moment. So obviously set your craft name if you want one. Fail safe, I just left this pretty default, but I have tested it. Check your minimum pulse and then input something around that, just below that. I'll just set to drop. I ain't really set anything else in here. PID tuning, everything is stock as it comes. Receiver, obviously your receiver. Here's your minimum value when your receiver's off. Obviously you just have to bind and then set up your channels. Obviously I won't show that because everyone's radio is different. It's pretty, you should be able to do it though if you've done it before. Just have a look for some videos for your actual transmitter. So I've got a few aux switches here, angle mode, so I just, because I'm still learning a bit, I have the Horizon just for a get out a jail free card just in case, but I'm generally flying this angle mode and I ain't really used the anti-gravity, but I've just got it there just in case I want to have a go. So I don't think there's anything in here. No. Obviously you can test spin your motors here with no propellers on. You can do that if you want. I did that for a bit of debugging. OSD, obviously this is very good. I like this a lot. This is really good that you can do this from all within the configurator software. So just a couple of things that I've selected. You can see your main battery voltage here. I'll just click it. So battery voltage here, I'm using my milliamps in the middle here. My amps total, sorry that's milliamp hours used. Using my total here, what mode I'm in, and then my craft name. Obviously it looks like it's to the right here, but when my name goes in there it's actually centered. And then your actual fly minutes. You can have some alarms here that flash up. So this is if your RSSI goes below 20, it'll start flashing on the screen. I don't know if it'll flash because I haven't actually got that displayed yet because I'm actually using it. The capacity, I do know that if you go over this value here, this number here will start flashing at you, which is quite good, which I would guess is the same with this one. I actually never fly for 10 minutes, so maybe I should set that to 6, because that's generally about how much I get out of my battery. And that's it really. The only problem is that you can't seem to scroll down enough to get to these bottom ones here. I don't really know what these actually are. I might try plug into my Mac and see if I can actually see what these are down here. Anyway, let's have a look in here. No, nothing in here. Nothing in here. I'm not using this. So black box. Here we go. So using the onboard SD, I think I've got about I think I've got a gig card in here. It looks like I've got 1 gig card in here, so I'm just running at 50%, which is nice. Obviously I've been flying for about I've probably done about 20 batteries and it's used that much of your card, my SD card space up. And that's it really. There's nothing very unique. It's just a bog standard setup. Obviously PIDs are just what they are when they come in. So anyway, I'm just going to show you how to reverse a couple of your motors in this BeeHeli suite. So I'll just show you how to do that. Right, so here you go with the next thing. So basically disconnect from Betaflight, and then what you want to do is you want to select your same COM and your same baud rate that you normally use, and then you want to plug in your battery. Now make sure you either take your props off, or what I've done is I've just put a towel over my quad so that if anything goes wrong it will just chew it to bits. So anyway, click connect and you'll see here we've got a multiple ESC setup. So read the setup, there you go, and then basically all I've done is here we've got the revision of this is what they came as. I haven't done anything. CH40, I don't really know what that means, but I think it's something to do with the type of ESC. Anyway, literally the only thing I've done is just change this motor direction here. So you can see, if you deselect these and click 2, you can see that that's set to reverse, and 3 is also set to reverse. So all you do is you would click that, click normal, and click right setup, and that'll just write it in, and then just do the same again for number 3, click that, and then that's it, it's done. If you're not using D-Shot, then I would calibrate your ESCs through this, because I've used it before and I've found it to be very good. So use this, obviously take your props off, and then just give them a test blast each, and then that should be about it. So you should be ready to go. Obviously, once you've done this motor direction, just give them a quick check to check that they're actually spinning in the correct direction. So your motor 2 and 3 should be spinning anti-clockwise, and then that should be it. You should be ready to go. So we'll go out for a quick test hover and a quick punch out, and we'll see it running. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see a bit more in-depth soldering techniques and things along them lines, then I'll put some links up to my previous videos. There's quite a lot of detail in them about how to solder ESCs and all different components like that. This is also quite a large build series for a White Sheep, which is a larger quad. I hope you enjoy everything I've done so far. Thanks for watching. See you later.